because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters.
Okay,
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit.
Breaking news, guys. We now have more details regarding the 13-year-old that has gotten Jay-Z's name caught up in arguably one of the wildest scandals of his career. A scandal that now has everyone questioning not just him, but Beyonce too. Not just that, the shocking feud between Jay-Z and the defendant's lawyer Tony Buzbeee has turned into a messier showdown with both sides pulling receipts from the past. Like, they've been waiting for this moment. Literally, the internet is in shambles right now because of the accusations that are flying that tie Jay-Z to an incident so serious, people are calling it career ending for Jay-Z. And with the Beyhive's queen under fire by association, things are looking real messy. Y'all, there is a lot to unpack here, so without any further ado, let's just get right into it.
We will pursue this matter no matter who the evidence implicates.
But before we get to the latest developments, let's take this back all the way to the year 2000 for y'all to get the full scoop. So 2000 was the peak of the music industry's excesses, award shows, after parties, powerful names running the Hollywood scene. Enter our plaintiff, who was just a teenager at the time. Let's call her middle school for the sake of this video to keep things YouTube friendly. Now, middle school, like all kids her age, were fascinated with the Hollywood fast-paced life, and her only wish at that time was to be in the same room with these celebs, and she somehow found a way to be at a party she had no business being at, allegedly hosted by none other than Diddy. By now, there's no rock so big you could be living under to have absolutely no clue what allegedly went down at these parties, so we don't have to get into details about that. According to the lawsuit, middle school was trying to get into the VMAs when she met a limo driver who told her about the party. He allegedly said, "You'll fit right in, you're Diddy's type." First red flag, the driver picked her up later and took her to the party, and that's where things started to get messy. Middle school claims that the party was packed with big names, celebrities, music moguls, the whole shebang. But she noticed the vibe was off. She had a drink and almost immediately she started feeling strange, disoriented, and unwell. She went to a bedroom to lie down, and that's when things allegedly took a darker turn. If you've been following the Diddy case, then you already know that according to what others who've attended these infamous gatherings have said, it all checks out. Now, what happens next is sensitive, so I'm gonna keep it careful. Allegedly, Jay-Z and Diddy entered the room with an unnamed female celebrity. According to middle school, they began doing things to her that should never happen to someone, especially at her age, or to anyone under any circumstances. In the lawsuit, middle school recalls that Jay-Z went in first, followed by Diddy, while the unnamed female celebrity stood by and watched. She also claims that Jay-Z appeared surprised when she began to resist, as if taken aback by her sudden change in demeanor. Middle school was unable to fight back at first, but eventually snapped out of it, grabbed her clothes, and ran out of the party in distress. You could be enraged at this point, but my heart literally dropped to my stomach when I read the next part of the lawsuit. It says that even though she was clearly in distress, partially undressed, mind you, and stormed out of the room into a crowd of people, no one so much as looked her way, let alone attempted to help. They just went on doing whatever it was that they always did at Diddy's parties, much like the female celebrity in the room who deliberately looked the other way. You know what this reminds me of? That Kevin Hart video from a few months ago when he was hosting one of Diddy's parties and a woman's hair literally caught on fire, but instead of helping, everyone just laughed hysterically like it was some big joke. It has the same chilling indifference. It's disgusting.
Hey, what's going on? It's official. We're here. Dirty Money album release party, last train to Paris. It's crazy. I decided to switch scenes. It got too hectic down there. I'm up here in the hot tub, doing it official. You know what I'm saying? My Trey's up here. My nigga Fab's up here. You know, when you have a scene like this, you gotta bring bosses with you. As you see, it's female friendly. We got a ladies and a female. She's butt ball. That's what I call it, raw dog. I'm not jumping the tub myself. You know, once everybody moves out, you know, it's just me and the lady. This is my scene. I'm used to this type of thing. You know, doing what I do best. Oh, did the camera catch that? Got the camera. Got the camera off. And rock, let's go.
As if things couldn't get any worse, the story takes another heartbreaking turn because the moment 13-year-old middle school realized that no one was offering to help, she braved the darkness of the night and in her desperation found refuge at a nearby gas station. For the first time that evening, this was the closest sense of safety that she had found. It was here at the gas station where a female clerk gave her a phone to call her dad. Her father picked her up and took her home, but according to the lawsuit, this traumatic event had lifelong consequences. The plaintiff says she's dealt with depression, anxiety, self-blame, and a range of other issues ever since.
So why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Acceptable monster.
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
Now, let's talk about the lawsuit itself because this is where it gets crazier than you'd imagine. The plaintiff's lawyer, Tony Buzbeee, is absolutely crashing Jay-Z with this one. And if that name rings a bell, it's probably because Busby has been all over the Diddy drama from the start and is currently representing a whopping 120 cases against Diddy. 120!
Hello, everyone. My name is Tony Buzbeee. I'm a lawyer here in Houston.
But it does not stop there. Tony Buzbeee is the attorney Hollywood A-listers have on their do not cross list because this man is fearless when it comes to taking on big names. Let's rewind to 2004 when he filed a $50 million lawsuit against Chris Brown and his entourage on a case involving 4 men who claimed that they were jumped after one of Brown's concerts in Fort Worth, Texas. On the flip side, plaintiffs love him as he isn't the kind of lawyer who plays it safe or gets intimidated by celebrity power. No, he is the guy that makes celebs sweat. He has built a reputation as the attorney you hate to see coming, and honestly, he seems to be thriving on it. This guy walks into a courtroom like he is ready to start a heavyweight championship fight, and right now Jay-Z is in the ring. Busby has framed this case against Jay-Z as a stand against exploitation in the entertainment industry, so while he would have his client middle school sue for criminal charges, they've instead filed it as a civil case, and I'll explain why in a short while.
As many of you know, our law firm has been at the forefront of some of the most important litigation in the United States. We like the tough cases. We thrive in the complicated cases. We've handled over the last 25 years some very big and very important cases. I believe that this one may surpass them all.
As you might have guessed by now, Jay-Z isn't buying any of this, and the war between him and Tony Buzbeee ever since this bombshell dropped is one for the history books. But then again, Jay-Z's reaction lately is giving sus. Now, if you know anything about Jay-Z and Beyonce, you know they almost never respond to any kind of backlash, no matter how wild the accusations are. Whether it's about clout chasers or serious allegations, they've ever been accused of witchcraft, but they've always kept it clean, quiet, and classy.
The conduct we will describe today occurred over more than 20 years. There are many people and many entities involved. And we're going to follow this evidence wherever it takes us. We will find the silent accomplices. We will expose the enablers who enabled this conduct behind closed doors. We will pursue this matter no matter who the evidence implicates.
But let's call it what it is. One of their worst moves was their closeness with Diddy, because his recent arrest has rocked their empire in ways they never saw coming. First, it was Jaguar Wright blowing the whistle on the Piers Morgan show, calling Jay-Z worse than Diddy. It was absolute chaos, and within 24 hours, Jay-Z's team had Piers scrambling to delete that interview and issue a public apology. Oh, and by the way, Piers is probably living for this drama right now, grinning from ear to ear as the tables turn on Jay-Z. But just when you thought that the dust might settle, here comes Tony Buzbeee stepping on Jay-Z's neck. But unlike Piers Morgan, Busby isn't about to be scared off with a few long-winded Twitter threads. When Jay-Z tried pulling his usual intimidation tactics, Busby simply rolled up his sleeves like, let's do this. And judging by how things are going, y'all, this is gearing up to be one hell of a legal showdown. Just so to explain to y'all how hilarious this is, Jay-Z isn't just letting his high-powered, overpaid legal team handle this one. He is literally right on the front line fighting like his entire empire depends on it, because it does. was. This isn't just another tabloid rumor to brush off. Jay knows what's at stake here, and the way he's scrambling says it all. Here's his long response. Sheesh, Busby got Jay-Z writing a whole novel. He must have hit below the belt for sure. My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Buzbeee. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the very opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I've done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. I have no idea how you have become such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I am more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine? Marines are known for their valor, and you neither have valor nor dignity. Jay-Z said Busby made a terrible error in judgment, thinking he was like other celebrities, making it clear he wasn't from Busby's world, but instead just a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict code and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. He signed off strong, saying, I look forward to showing you how I'm different. So the lawsuit aside, these two have been fighting on a personal level on social media because Busby responded, I have been sued in Los Angeles in a last-ditch attempt to stop me from revealing names in public lawsuits. It won't work. The irony, the lawsuit against me was filed by a powerful John Doe. Here's my full statement. We won't allow the powerful and their high-dollar lawyers to intimidate or silence SA survivors. In case you didn't already know, to fully understand how Jay-Z ended up entangled in this mess, let's rewind for a moment. The case wasn't even about Jay-Z at first. It was entirely focused on Diddy. In her original lawsuit filed on October 20th, Middle School recounted the incident we had talked about earlier in an MVA Awards party back in 2000. The lawsuit only mentioned Diddy and another unnamed male celebrity. For years, the identities of the other A-list celebrities and the unnamed female present were left out of public records. That was until the whole thing blew up following Diddy's, and whether fair or not, it's clearly Jay-Z caught in the crossfire because of his association with Diddy. This is no longer just a lawsuit against Diddy, it's become a legal and reputational nightmare that is casting a shadow over everyone linked to him. That said, let's get back to the drama. So, Jay-Z responded swiftly, calling the lawsuit a money grab and accusing Busby of trying to blackmail him. His main argument is that if this incident is as serious as the plaintiff claims, why file a civil case instead of a criminal one? He's essentially saying, call the police if you really believe I did something wrong. But while you'd argue that he has made a point, let's break this down. A civil case doesn't mean jail time. It's about money and accountability. So basically, Jay-Z would just have to pay Middle School off and gotten this over with. A criminal case, on the other hand, would require police involvement and evidence beyond a reasonable doubt for Jay-Z to be found guilty. However, considering this allegedly happened over 2 decades ago, physical evidence is likely scarce. Also, considering getting witnesses would literally be impossible because who do we have so far? Diddy's driver who picked up Middle School, the lady at the gas station who helped her call her dad, and maybe her dad? Literally, there is not enough to go off of to build a solid criminal case, and that's probably why Tony Buzbeee advised Middle School to choose the civil route. But here's where it gets even messier. Tony Buzbeee claims that after filing the suit, both he and the plaintiff started experiencing intimidation tactics. Busby says Jay-Z allegedly sent people to monitor him, and the plaintiff reported people lurking near her home, and that's when they decided to go public. If anything, Busby is using this as proof that Jay-Z is trying to silence them. Perhaps it's also worth mentioning that Tony Buzbeee isn't exactly squeaky clean either. The man's name has been dragged into its own share of controversies, especially after taking on over 100 cases against Diddy. And y'all already know, when Diddy's name gets dropped, so do the baby oil parties and all the sus celebrity connections that come with it. Word on the street is that Busby has allegedly gotten quite a few celebrities to settle their cases quietly instead of dragging them into court. And sure, that might sound like confidential meditation, but to some, it's giving blackmail and extortion because just like in Jay-Z's case, he slapped one of those celebs with civil instead of criminal charges. That explains why in Jay-Z's public response, he told Busby, this lawyer, who I've done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern for these types of theatrics. All right, moving on. We need to talk about Jay-Z's decision not to settle because these could have gone either way. The moment he reportedly told his team, let them take this public, I am not paying a dime, the move might be less about the money and more about protecting his reputation in the long run. Because if he was to settle, it wouldn't just end there. Settling opens the floodgates for more people to come forward. And you already know that Hollywood has no shortage of skeletons waiting to tumble out of the closet. Remember what happened when Michael Jackson settled? And very recently, the moment Diddy agreed to settle the Cassie Ventura case, it kind of looked like he was guilty of the allegations and his life has never been the same since. Let's just say say, Jay-Z knows better and seems ready for a fight. Speaking of putting up a fight, looks like Jay-Z and literally any other celeb who has a history with Diddy has to tie some loose ends, because from lawsuits to old scandals resurfacing, Did is quickly becoming a liability in Hollywood. With the kind of bombshells we've had since all these started, Diddy isn't any worse than these other celebs. He's just been super careless, while someone like Jay-Z, on the other hand, has also been seen as calculated and strategic. But this lawsuit could change everything. Insiders are already speculating that this case could impact Jay-Z's carefully curated image and even his marriage to Beyonce's brand, one that has been built on perfection and control. Allegations like this don't just hurt Jay-Z, they could tarnish her empire and their family, something Jay-Z didn't shy away from in his response to Busby when he said, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their age. It is unfair to have to try to understand the inexplicable degree of malice meant to destroy families and the human spirit." She's not a superstar, she's a business. So when her husband gets dragged into a scandal like this, the blowback inevitably lands on her too. Let's break it down. While Beyonce isn't accused of anything, she's being scrutinized simply for standing by Jay-Z. Some fans are already asking, how much did she know and why is she staying silent? And if the scandal keeps escalating, it could get to the point where Beyonce has no choice but to distance herself from Jay-Z to protect her brand. The public perception could shift from seeing her as a queen to questioning her judgment for staying with someone embroiled in such serious accusations.
You took an unprecedented stand to fight for this marriage. I mean, to fight for it and to put it all out there. What is it about this marriage that's so special that you would fight this hard to save it?
Well, it's my soulmate, it's the person I love, you know.
This isn't the first time Beyonce's loyalty to Jay-Z has been tested, only that this is different. To make it all worse, if you thought that this would be an open and shut case for Jay-Z, you might want to rethink that, cause remember when I mentioned that Tony Buzbeee has a reputation for bringing down empires? You might think him a fool for taking on Jay-Z, cause according to legal experts, Busby might lose this case on Jay-Z, but what many seem to forget is that the Pandora's box is now open. And right now, this civil trial alone could open the door to depositions where Jay-Z might be forced to answer uncomfortable questions under oath. Apparently, those questions won't just be about this case, but they could dig into his personal life, his past, and even his business dealings. For now, this case is still unfolding and the implications are huge, not just for Jay-Z and Diddy, but for the entire entertainment industry. The only thing everyone seems to agree with is that it's time to clean up Hollywood and get back to the raw talent. If you've made it this far, thank you for sticking with us, and as always, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do not forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss out on these deep dives and updates, because trust me, this story is just getting started. We'll be keeping an eye on all the latest twists and turns, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.